This BAE system, they're assisting murderers.
And it's really important for people to know that not all Jews are Zionists, and not all Zionists are Jews, in fact. I just completely agree with that. It's really bad to conflate the two. They're not the same thing at all.
Have you heard anything from your friends and family in Gaza?
A lot of them died.
I'm sorry.
I feel really bad. It's nothing about religion. It's about control, about greed. I keep repeating what Biden have said about if there was no Israel, we would have created an Israel to protect our interests in the Middle East. He never said about to protect Jews. None of them do.
Keir Starmer, he's a genocidal person that should be in front of the Hague.
We are all Palestinians. In no thousand, in no million. We are all Palestinians. In no thousand, in no million. We are all Palestinians. In no thousand, in no million. We are all Palestinians.
So this is one of 5 regional demonstrations happening across England at sites that are involved in the supply chain for Israel's F-35 fighter jets. The specific site that we're here at today is BAE Systems in Kent, and it produces essential components as the active interceptor system, which is used by the pilot to maneuver the jet. So these are essential components for the fighter jets that Israel uses to drop 2,000-pound bombs on Gaza as part of its genocide. These fighter jets have been used extensively to destroy entire neighborhoods in Gaza, to destroy hospitals, schools, in a genocide which has killed many, many tens, if not hundreds of thousands of Palestinians. So we're here to make visible that deadly supply chain, make visible what happens inside this factory, and to demand that BAE Systems stop enabling this genocide.
Basically, what is happening in the past 2 years is like it's taken away our sleep. We can't see our children dying every single day. 5, 10, 20, 100, and nobody's doing anything. All the politicians are happy to go and look. You see all these congressmen, what they think. All the congressmen of America, they are complicit. This BAE system, they're assisting murderers.
What's your message to Keir Starmer and this Labour government?
Basically, my message to Keir Starmer, get yourself or get UK out of this mess. Don't help these people. Don't supply any weapons. Stop all the weapons supply. Stand up for yourself. If you don't stand for nothing, you fall for everything. What are you doing?
Not knowing whether they are dead or alive, they came with their tanks and their planes. They came with their tanks and their planes, with ravaging fiery flames, and nothing remains. And nothing remains.
Some people say that they find protests like this intimidating or insensitive. What would you say to them?
Absolutely sorry. Absolutely nonsense. Absolutely nonsense. Just imagine, I mean, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, children are dying every day. What do you mean by that? They try to mix up things. They try to cheat people. They try to deceive people by mixing up anti-Semitic, this and that. You see, accident happened there, and they start to bring it actually to this absolutely nonsense. People, they doing actually, you see, peacefully. We are not doing anything actually wrong. We are not touching anything actually, you see, belong to anyone. So where is the intermediate?
Well, we're from South London, and I'm part of the Jewish Socialist Group, which is quite a big organisation. And it's really important for people to know that not all Jews are Zionists, and not all Zionists are Jews. In fact, there's a huge amount of Christian Zionists in America that are funding all of the atrocities going on in Israel. And there are a lot of Jewish people are on the marches against genocide.
Well, can I ask you guys about that? Because there was a lot of press over the weekend saying that, these marches were insensitive and offensive to Jewish people. Someone in the Times even wrote they were motivated by hatred of Jewish people. I mean, what's your response to that?
No, it's absolute rubbish. I mean, I am offended, and I was offended by a woman who was cutting down yellow ribbons from outside a synagogue the other day, and that's offensive, and people like that are foolish. I'm sure they didn't mean harm, but it is offensive because 7 million of us were murdered by the Nazis and so on.
We're seeing, like, not only Helen, but we're seeing so many other Jewish people stand in solidarity, and it's like it shouldn't be anti-Semitic, to say the truth. Like, I think a really common misconception is that people think that all Jews are Zionists and all Zionists are Jews.
Sorry, I just completely agree with that. It's really bad to conflate the two. They're not the same thing at all. And as I said, lots of Jewish people are really against the war in Gaza and what's happening to the Palestinians in general.
And finally, can I ask you, what's your message to Keir Starmer?
End the siege, stop arming Israel.
Keir, grow a pair and stand up to Donald Trump and stop being a pain in the arse and stand up for the people in Palestine.
We have people from the Jewish faith with us today. We've had people from the Jewish faith with us from before October the 7th. If people have any concerns, come along, speak to people. The best way to deal with anxiety that people have about these kind of protests is just come along and talk to people. Communication is how you resolve conflict.
The UK government says that those F-35 parts, they're not giving export licenses directly to Israel. They're giving these F-35s to a sort of communal pot, and some of those go to Ukraine, hence why they don't want to stop exporting F-35 parts. What's your response to that?
I mean, what can we even say to that? It's all nonsense. If there was a other person that is in this supply chain that was committing what Israel is doing, you can bet your bottom dollar that they would know with a flick of the finger how to cut off those parts going into that country. They know that they can stop this. They're choosing not to.
The government has basically carved out F-35 exports from its suspension of a very small number of arms export licenses that it put in place last summer. Obviously, that itself was completely inadequate. But then to specifically carve out F-35 components and say, we know they're used in a genocide, but we're not going to stop them. I think it's a ludicrous argument to say that the government can't control what happens to components that are exported from factories like this. This is the crime of crimes. If parts are being used to go into planes that are used to commit a genocide, you should be doing every single thing in your power to ensure that they don't go and are used for a genocide. So I think it's a complete failure of the British government to say, oh, there's just no possible way we can stop parts that are made in this country being used to commit genocide.
You can burn up our mosques and our homes and our schools and our churches and our hospitals, but our spirit will never die.
I'm Palestinian. I grew up in I grew up in Lebanon and then came to study in UK, and we stayed in UK. Our house was bombed. My family dispersed. It was hard, very hard for all of us. I didn't come as a refugee to England. No, we came to study, and my husband was a doctor, and they asked him basically to stay because of his research and things. So we are grateful that we have so many amazing British friends managed to have a home here. But in the same time, we have lots of family in Palestine, in Lebanon, in Syria, and they were dispersed, like my cousins, my mom's family, my dad's family. We are all dispersed all over. We have lots of friends and some family in Gaza as well. Have been really hard times for all of us going through this. But what's Gaza spark, it sort of shows the world what Zionism is about, because Palestinians have never been anti-Jews in history. Even now, we've never been, ever. We will never be, because it's not about religion. I know there's all kind of propaganda with Islamophobia, with even the Christian now. Yesterday, they killed a whole bombed the church with about 380 people in it. And that tells you what we're dealing with. So it's nothing about religion. It's about control, about the greed, what these people, since the Ottoman Empire, when they discovered oil in the 1800s, until now, the British mandate came to Palestine. They all wanted opening of the Suez Canal. It's about strategic points. My great-grandmother was Jewish. My other great-grandmother was Christian, but they decided to become Muslim. So it doesn't make you, because Palestine had all the three religions. The people live safely. And I went to visit Palestine, and I went into one of the villages where my cousins live. Honestly, you walk into a house, this door is a church, and the other door is a mosque. The one run on Friday, and the other one run on Sunday. And people live in harmony with each other. we lived peacefully with Jews, Christian, and Muslim, and the only country in the world where Jews were never persecuted is actually in Palestine itself. And the world should know the truth. And the history is there. You can see Ilan Bebe, the historian Jews, and many Flankstein and many other top Jewish scholars. They tell you the truth. They study the history and they turn against the Zionism because they know it has nothing to do with Judaism or any religion. They weaponize religion. What Israel is doing, it's totally brainwashing their people, their children. That's child abuse, basically, of thinking that Arabs hate them. We don't hate them. It's a way they lure them in order to become an IDF, in order to become killer. Look how brainwashed out of their humanity to become killers, killing babies with greed. How? What kind of mentality does that? How can you bring your children to believe that? Which shows you they don't care about Jews. None of them did. They never did. And I keep repeating what Biden have said about if there was no Israel, we would have created an Israel to protect our interests in the Middle East. He never said about to protect Jews. None of them do.
Have you heard anything from your friends and family in Gaza?
A lot of them died.
I'm sorry.
I feel really bad. I heard from my family in the other side of Palestine. They are all very nervous, very frightened. The children, they don't know what to do because it's fear. Look what they're burning in the West Bank. So can you imagine what they're doing in the North